It's TV dinner time. Kick your shoes off, get comfy. Today we're talking about a new show. Today we're talking about Fight Night from 2024. The $1 million heist?
Yeah, it's like a $1 million heist or something.
But yeah, on Peacock.
On Peacock.
I want to say the whole season may be out on Peacock already, or there may be
I think they're like
a
one or
couple
two
episodes
like
left.
still ready to come out. Yeah.
Want to give everyone a spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, and we'll get into it.
And this is episodes 1 through 4.
Yes.
So,
sorry.
So we did watch episodes 1 through 4, and I guess the whole like story. There's a lot of people in this.
Huge cast.
There's Kevin Hart,
Samuel
Jackson, Terrence Howard, who doesn't know how to like add or subtract and do math. And
No. He's an engineer.
Well, in his own mind.
Yeah.
In a different realm.
It's like a who's who of black actors and actresses.
Which is cool because like there's a lot of people in this, and granted, like everyone is like at
the top of their game.
I would assume so, and some new black actresses probably.
They're like
we've never seen.
There's a couple of them that have had roles but not big names yet. Like one of the main robbers that was wearing the bandana, he's actually in the reboot of White Man Can't Jump.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's like it kind of like if you go out of your way to like watch this, then you're gonna be seeing some like staples of like Samuel Jackson knowing how to say the N-word and motherfucker the whole time. Like that dude,
I don't know how you get away with that on Peacock though.
Peacock probably like, well, you know what you're clicking on.
Like, oh, you signed Samuel? Okay, we'll let him say he gets 5 off an episode and he'll be all right.
That dude knows how to say all the curse words perfectly.
And make them punch. You're like, oh man.
But there's a lot of things going on. But basically, it kind of like the whole story revolves one night.
One night. Like they show the build up to that one night, but it's all revolving around that one night for the Ali fight.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
Yeah. So this is like based in Atlanta, Georgia. Muhammad Ali is coming to Atlanta, Georgia to do a fight, but this is also after the fact that Muhammad Ali decided to not go with the draft and stuff. And so there's a lot of white people. There's a lot of
like a lot of things bubbling outside. Like it was Ali, but there was a lot of things bubbling outside of that in the city at that time, it felt like.
Yeah. So like Don Cheadle's character is a detective, but like he was like one of the first detectives for that precinct because like integration happened. Yeah, the black detective. So there's a lot of things going on like that, and you can still tell that like, oh, that side of the town is where the black communities are, and this is where all the other people are.
The funny thing though about Don Cheadle's character, him saying like, oh yeah, I went in, took the test for fun, and ended up acing it. It's like, what?
Well, it goes to show you, it's like, yeah, like if
anybody can do it.
You can do it and everything. But yeah, you see the kind of like this cauldron or like this like almost like kind of like a pressure cooker a little bit.
Like you knew something was gonna pop at some point. And
like,
the robbery that occurred in that home was that explosion.
I think so. And then all the other things that are kind of leading up.
Yeah, because we don't even know what else is going to happen. Like we've only seen the first half of the season, so there's no telling what else is going to occur. Because now we're seeing how many issues Don Cheadle's character is dealing with in his own precinct. The fact that he was interrogating someone, that person then tries to kill themselves.
Or we're assuming that it was successful too.
Yeah. And he's trying to save this person. He's asking for help because he assumes like, okay, no, this person isn't dead yet. And his counterparts are like, nah, he'll handle it.
Yeah, we heard that happening. Yeah. At the end of that episode, this last episode, that was the end of the fourth episode. 4, yeah. And I was like thinking to myself, it's like, man, this show just shows that like white people suck.
And it just like, hated us for years.
Yeah, man. And it's like, man, it was horrible. But it was like just like no resources and all this. So it's like this like the black mafia, from what we're assuming, like the big like heads of these like
crime families or syndicates more so than families.
And so they all come to Atlanta, Georgia to watch the fight, But then someone said, like, hey, let's throw a party and stuff. And some dude named Chicken Man.
Chicken Man. Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart is like a low numbers dude, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like doing the lottery. That's what like he's like taking bets on and stuff. And so, but he's trying to get an in with Samuel Jackson's character, who's like the main dude. And so he's thinking like, oh, if he gets an in with Samuel Jackson's character.
Oh, he's set for life.
Yeah. He's like, I'm the dude in Atlanta, Georgia. But then they decide to rob that party that Chicken Man decides to throw and everything.
And everything is pointing at Chicken Man as being the one that set up the robbery.
That's what I want to ask you. It's like, you're kind of in that moment, like, there's no question that Samuel Jackson can't, like, say, this is Chicken Man.
Yeah.
Like, this has
There's no one else to point to.
Yeah. So, like, but then Samuel Jackson's character is not a detective, so he's more so, it's like, all right, Chicken Man's the easiest person to deal with.
He's from the streets, too, so he's like, I'm going to handle it like any street dude would handle it.
Yeah.
So he's finding little pieces or, like, different people that he can be like, okay, I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to tell me the answer. And
that's how one name, and then
that's how we ended up killing
Silky.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking. Her name is Chloe in real life, but her character.
Lena.
There we go, Lena.
Yeah. I was very surprised that, like, it was funny to see, like, there was like an inside person for this robbery.
Yeah.
And so they were like having a bunch of girls come and like party with everyone and stuff, but then the robbers were like, oh, let's put a girl in the party,
in the mix,
that's with us, and sadly she is like found out
so quickly too.
Yeah, it's like, because it's almost like I guess it's like when you're like trying to hide something about yourself, no matter what, that's like
you
the thing
give it
you
away.
Project.
Yes.
Like, you have to be very good at like what you're doing and stuff to like.
You gotta have a straight face, no emotion to everything, and she was like too emotional at times.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you that emotional about this situation?
And going into this, like, this kind of robbery thing, like, they went in with, like, some, like, people that weren't used to doing this stuff. And so, like, one's a kid.
It was like
there's
Lena's,
that Lena character.
Lena's brother or, like, cousin or whatever.
Yeah, they're cousins or whatever and stuff. And then some people that have never done this. Yeah. But then there's other people that are like, they've done it, but
former
they're
military,
stupid. They're stupid and they want to go and like already sell off the stuff that like they just robbed from these like big mafia people like an hour ago. Like
the fact that you didn't realize that was a bad idea is so funny to me.
Yeah, so
like let things die down before you try to sell. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but then you have this whole like separate story of Muhammad Ali being there for his fight.
Yeah.
And John Cheadle's character initially is told, protect him and get him to the ring.
Yep.
And make sure nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Make sure he's safe.
There was like this interaction between Muhammad Ali and Don Cheadle's character, and we talked about it yesterday, where it's like it almost kind of makes you like I initially was like, man, Muhammad Ali just feels like a douchebag. Like he sounds horrible and everything, and like he just sounds like a very entitled person. Yeah. Granted, like he's like one of the best boxers in the world at that moment and stuff, and continues to be in the future and stuff. But like he sounds like a child. Like he just seems like a child, where it's like, I'm the best,
the greatest,
and I need to like be placed on this pedestal and stuff. And
I wonder though, because this is kind of going back to what we were talking about yesterday. I wonder if Ali was portrayed by a different actor, if we still would have felt that way. Because it felt like we've seen Ali portrayed by other actors, and I didn't have any issues with it. I'm like, oh, that person fit well as an Ali character. The actor they chose for Ali in this show didn't really fit to me. It felt like it was kind of forced.
Yeah, I think we talked about it yesterday, where it's like, it just seemed like, I guess because like maybe this was a younger Ali in a story sense, and maybe when Ali was younger, he was more boisterous and like,
more rebellious, more
rebellious and stuff, and like can be hard to handle if you're like not part of his inner group and everything. But yeah, I do wonder if whether or not like a different person portraying him, and more even a true sense too, because like I feel like it's like a very fake portrayal of like Muhammad Ali for me, where it's like it like we talked about yesterday, where it's like it seemed like the dude watched
a couple of YouTube videos or something,
and just kind of like just started like, all right, here's his energy. So he's like that 24/7.
Yeah, because it's difficult to like have seen Will Smith's portrayal as Ali, and there was this film that came out a couple years ago. It was similar fashion of like they're portraying one night that occurred.
The like one night in Miami. Yeah, that was a good one.
And even that Ali was a great Ali. Mm-hmm. So to see those two portrayals of Ali in like different eras, and then to see this, it's kind of like, man, he could have even taken notes from those two actors and would have been set. But you tried your own thing, and it just doesn't feel like it works.
Yeah, it's difficult to take, but then he kind of grows on you and everything, and then he kind of like settles in. And granted, like the story is that he's growing on Don Cheadle's character and stuff, and like, all right, like you're someone trying to make a change from the inside.
Yeah.
Right? Like Don Cheadle's just trying to be a good cop, but he's also a black person.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, like I'm fighting a lot of different things.
In the Jim Crow era.
Yeah, and then one douchebag cop that just like punches everybody and stuff. Like, what the hell? But
the one thing though, as I was watching this, it made me feel like this should have just been a movie.
I wonder.
It feels like I mean, I've been enjoying these episodes, but it feels like they're kind of dragging it out. Feels like they could have condensed this to maybe a 2-hour film, and it would have been more impactful. Like them making this episodic 8 to 10 episodes is kind of like, okay, a lot of this might have been true, but it feels like you're also adding in extra to extend this to 10 episodes where it could have been condensed to 2 hours and we would have been set.
Yeah, and almost like also like in that sense, you're almost kind of like, let me get the most of my money from these big name characters.
Exactly,
like, let's get them here and film like a bunch of episodes.
As much as possible.
Yeah, so it's like you're getting like all the star power, and then all right, let's break it out. Yeah. I do get that where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of like other things that like you probably don't need, that you can cut down, and I wonder if like how difficult is that to like think about, like, all right, like when someone's selling a script, who is the one that makes the decision on that, where it's like, oh,
it's going to be a movie versus show,
or a TV show. Yeah,
it's got to be in the pitch. It's got to be just assuming, I'm guessing it's in the pitch to a production company of, hey, we have this idea, we want to center around this night that occurred with Muhammad Ali. Here's the cast of characters that are involved, and maybe the production company's like, we'll make it a show, or we'll make it a movie. I wonder if that's how easy it is.
I guess so. Yeah, and maybe this was a miscategorization of like, all right, this could have been a movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really don't think this movie probably would have been seen by a lot of people, even with the star power. And I kind of want to see the numbers of this movie or this show, of whether or not a lot of people are watching this. Granted, it's on Peacock, so it's like some people also don't even have Peacock, so I wonder like how much
that's the
viewership.
But that's the tough thing about all these streaming services is like there's great shows on each streaming service, but in order for you to watch all these shows, you got to spend crazy amounts of money to actually watch them. So they aren't seen. Like there's probably shows on Apple TV that are great shows, but people don't have Apple TV, so they've never seen them.
Yeah, or you even like don't even know those shows exist.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like we're not watching normal TV anymore, where we're seeing like trailers of things, or like watch this show on Peacock and everything.
Every Tuesday.
You don't have Peacock. You have no clue this show even exists and stuff. So it's like that's. I do see that as like a downside where it's like, oh man, I think this probably could have been seen by more people if we watch TV in a more traditional way, or with just less streaming channels. Because
that even goes to, like, I was having a conversation with somebody I work with, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm checking out Shogun because I heard about it through the Emmys. It's like, you didn't hear about it before, but it goes back to most people are watching TV traditionally, so they hear about it through other people or award season.
Yeah, most people don't even know that like FX exists on Hulu. Yeah, it's like, and that's like the only way you're watching anything that's like FX based, because like no one's like flipping through the channels.
Not anymore.
And YouTube TV, my family has YouTube TV. It's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And if you want to have like more than a few people watching YouTube TV,
you're like, spending.
Yeah, you're like crazy. Might as well just
get satellite again. Let's put a satellite up. You're set. You get everything.
So, but do you recommend this to anybody watching this and everything? And out of the other TV shows we're watching,
I want to give this some more time. I want to wait. I think once we finish this season, I'll revisit that question. Like as of right now, I'm looking at it as it's cool. Like it's an interesting watch so far, but the fact that it just feels dragged out. It could have been a movie is where my head is at. So I'm going to wait and see how they wrap everything up.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like Patty and I have been watching it and stuff, and it's a very interesting like show and everything. It's like an interesting show to watch and everything. But I'm not like looking to go out of my way right now to like, oh, I need to watch the next one and stuff, or I'm like chomping at the bit and everything. Which is funny. It's like it's funny. Like Kai chose this one Kai wanted to watch this one as like a
palate
subtle
cleanser.
Palate cleanser, but then from like the monsters and all these like horrible
Presumed
stories.
Innocent.
But then we're watching stuff about structural racism and like Muhammad Ali being and murder, and I was like, all right,
I didn't expect that.
Palate cleanser.
I thought it was gonna be more comedic, and then I start watching it, and I'm like, this is not really a palate cleanser, but we're going from this into a whole other dark show, so we gotta reevaluate some things.
Just to show us that life sucks, I guess.
Because there's not too many comedies out.
No.
No. At least not new comedies. Like Abbott Elementary's out, but that's 4 or 5 seasons in. I've already been watching it, but we're not gonna jump in 4 or 5 seasons in.
Yeah, right.
Like you really have to search for a good comedy nowadays.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let us know if you've seen the first 4 episodes of Fight Night on Peacock. It's with Kevin Hart, Samuel Jackson. There's a lot of people in this. Let us know if you've seen these first 4 episodes, if you liked them, disliked them, what you thought about the story. And also, to Kai's question, whether or not do you think this thing should have been a movie, or is the episodic kind of distribution of this is the best choice? Let us know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe to Saturday Night Popcorn for more TV dinners like these.